One of the most common questions I get from clients approaching retirement is simple but critical. How do I actually turn this portfolio into a reliable income without running out of money? You've spent decades building your nest egg, but turning that lump sum into a paycheck that lasts 30 years or more requires a completely different skill set. In today's video, I'm walking you through a detailed hypothetical scenario for a 62-year-old couple with $1.6 million trying to figure out how to create efficient retirement income across different account types. We'll cover everything from the 3-bucket strategy to tax bracket management, Social Security timing, Roth conversions, and the IRMAA landmines that can silently drain thousands from your retirement. This is a comprehensive breakdown of the decision process that actually matters when you're turning savings into sustainable income. Chapter 1, your 3 account types and why location matters. Not all retirement dollars are created equal. The tax treatment of your money matters just as much as how much you have, and you're likely working with 3 types. Taxable brokerage accounts, already taxed, so withdrawals of principal are tax-free. Growth is subject to capital gains, typically 0 to 20% for retirees. Flexible, accessible, and generally taxed more favorably than ordinary income. Traditional pre-tax accounts, 401ks and traditional IRAs, you get the deduction going in, but every dollar coming out is taxed as ordinary income at your marginal rate, anywhere from 10 to 37% in 2026. These also come with required minimum distributions starting at 73 or 75, depending on your birth year. Roth accounts, you paid taxes up front, so the money grows and comes out tax-free. No RMDs during your lifetime, and incredibly valuable for tax planning flexibility and legacy. Where your money lives matters enormously. If you need $80,000 and it all comes from a traditional IRA, you're paying ordinary income tax on every dollar. But if $40,000 comes from Social Security, $20,000 from a brokerage account with minimal gains, and $20,000 from a Roth, your tax bill can be dramatically lower with the same spending power. Chapter 2, why there's no universal withdrawal order. You've probably heard rules like always withdrawal from taxable first, then IRAs, then Roth last. Any advisor who tells you there's a single correct sequence probably isn't doing enough planning. The optimal strategy changes year by year based on your tax situation, what bracket you're in, when Social Security starts, when RMDs kick in, and whether you're doing Roth conversions. This is tax bracket management. The goal isn't to pay 0 taxes. It's to pay the lowest total tax over your entire retirement. Sometimes that means deliberately paying taxes today at a lower rate to avoid much higher taxes tomorrow. Say you're 64 and not yet taking Social Security, and your only income comes from your portfolio. You might be in the 12% bracket, which for married filing jointly in 2026 covers taxable income from $24,801 to $100,800. But once you hit 73 and RMDs stack on top of Social Security, you could be in the 22 to 24% bracket. It could make sense to fill up that 12% bracket each year with IRA withdrawals or Roth conversions, even if you don't need all the money for spending. That's strategic tax planning that most people completely miss. Chapter 3, meet Tom and Lisa. Let me walk you through a hypothetical couple based on real planning situations. These are not actual clients and all numbers are for illustration purposes only. Tom and Lisa are both 62. They've accumulated $1.6 million, $1 million in traditional IRAs and 401ks, $300,000 in taxable brokerage, and $200,000 in Roth IRAs, and $100,000 in cash. They own their home outright. They need $80,000 per year before Social Security to cover their lifestyle. Housing, utilities, food, travel, healthcare before Medicare, everything. They want to leave a legacy for their 2 adult children. Tom's Social Security at full retirement age is projected at $2,500 a month or $30,000 annually. Lisa's is $1,500 a month or $18,000 annually. Combined, $48,000 per year if they both claim at 67. The challenge, how do they structure income over the next 8 years before Social Security? Once it starts, how do they manage taxes, avoid IRMAA surcharges, minimize RMDs, and position the portfolio to last through their 90s while leaving something for their kids? Chapter 4, building the bucket structure. The bucket approach divides your portfolio by time horizon. It's designed to protect you from having to sell stocks at the worst possible time. Bucket 1, cash and short term, 1 to 2 years of expenses in cash, money markets, short-term CDs. For Tom and Lisa, it's $80,000 to $160,000. It's just readily accessible when they need it. When the market crashes, you draw from here and you sleep at night. Bucket 2, protected income, designed to fund roughly 20 years of expenses with lower volatility assets. Fixed index annuities, bond ladders, dividend stocks, intermediate bonds. Many of our clients do choose a fixed index annuity for at least part of this bucket after we walk them through the options, but it can also be CDs, bond ladders, or just a money market. It just has to be something that's not going to lose money. This bucket refills bucket 1 as needed. Bucket 3, growth. Money they won't touch for 20 years, invested aggressively in stocks and equity funds. This is longevity protection and legacy money. It has time to ride out multiple market cycles. For Tom and Lisa's $1.6 million, roughly $160,000 in bucket 1, $800,000 in bucket 2, and $640,000 in bucket 3, the exact split depends on risk tolerance and income needs, but the framework gives them a roadmap that's simple to understand. The power of this structure is that bucket 2 does the heavy lifting on income. If we can get a floor of zero downside and an average return of 4 to 6% in that protected bucket, we're beating what bonds have done over the last decade, and we're not paying 1% advisory fee on assets that are barely growing. Meanwhile, bucket 3 has a 20-year runway. We've never seen a 20-year cycle in the market that's lost money. That's a fact we can lean into, but past performance isn't a guarantee of future results. Chapter 5, years 62 to 70, the critical planning window. The period between retirement and when RMDs and Social Security lock in your tax situation is the most valuable planning opportunity you'll ever have. Most retirees waste it. From 62 to 70, Tom and Lisa have incredible flexibility. No high W-2 income, no Social Security yet, no RMDs. Their taxable income is entirely in their control. In year one, they need $80,000, so they pull $30,000 from their brokerage with minimal taxes, $30,000 from the traditional IRA, and $20,000 from the Roth. That's $30,000 of taxable IRA income. After the standard deduction, $32,200 for married couples filing jointly in 2026, they'd have essentially zero taxable income from withdrawals. But they shouldn't stop there. They can convert an additional $70,000 from traditional IRA to Roth, filling up the 12% bracket. That conversion is taxed at 12%, likely much lower than the 22 to 24% they'd pay once RMDs start at 73. Over 8 years of disciplined conversions, they can move hundreds of thousands from pre-tax to Roth at favorable rates. Chapter 6, the Roth conversion reality check. Roth conversions are powerful, but they're massively oversold. Converting reduces future RMDs, creates tax-free income, and under the Secure Act's 10-year rule, means your kids inherit tax-free dollars instead of a traditional IRA that forces taxable distributions during their peak earning years. But most people don't have enough non-IRA assets to pay the conversion taxes. If Tom and Lisa convert $100,000 at 22%, $22,000 in taxes before you consider state taxes. If they use IRA money to pay it, they're shrinking the conversion and potentially triggering penalties. You should be paying conversion taxes from brokerage or cash accounts. And large conversions trigger IRMAA, Medicare's income-related monthly adjustment amount. This is a surcharge on Part B and Part D premiums based on income from 2 years prior. The look-back starts at 63, not 65. A lot of advisors get this wrong. If you do a massive conversion at 63, thinking you have time before Medicare, you're in for a surprise at 65. IRMAA thresholds are cliffs, not gradual slopes. In 2024, married couples over $206,000 MAGI start paying surcharges. Cross by even $1, and you're paying hundreds or thousands more per year per person. Say Tom and Lisa do a $250,000 conversion that pushes their MAGI over the threshold. Suddenly, they're each paying an extra $6,400 per year in Medicare premiums. It's $12,800 total, which can completely erase the tax benefit of the conversion. The sweet spot is modest conversions that fill lower brackets without triggering IRMAA, typically $30,000 to $70,000 per year over several years rather than one giant conversion. Plan conversions and income carefully around those thresholds. This requires annual planning, not set it and forget it. Chapter 7, the Social Security decision. The standard advice is to delay until 70 for an 8% annual increase past full retirement age. That sounds compelling, but delaying from 62 to 70 means giving up 8 years of benefits, roughly $200,000 to $240,000 that has come from your portfolio instead. That's more than $200,000 of your own money spent to bridge the gap. When you pass away, your beneficiaries don't get your Social Security. Your spouse might, but your kids don't. For legacy planning, Social Security is use it or lose it. Every dollar you leave in your IRA or brokerage account can pass to heirs. So now you've taken money from your own pot to get more later, but that more is income that disappears when you do. For Tom and Lisa, who prioritize their legacy, claiming earlier while doing Roth conversions might be smarter, use Social Security to cover living expenses, preserve the portfolio for conversion and growth, and end up with more Roth assets to leave for the kids. It's trade-off based on priorities, not a one-size-fits-all calculation. Then you have to take longevity seriously. If you have concerns of family history or shorter lifespan, waiting until 70 to maximize a benefit you might only collect for a few years makes very little sense. If you're in great health with longevity in the family, delaying can be a smart bet. Every situation is different. Chapter 8, putting the plan together. A rigid year-by-year roadmap breaks after year one. Markets don't cooperate. Life throws curveballs. Tax laws change. It's like driving from New York to California. And the most efficient route could be 20 different paths depending on what's happening along the way. A financial plan that has no room for flexibility might as well be broken after year one. For Tom and Lisa, the flexible framework looks like this. Years 62 to 64, draw $80,000 annually from brokerage and Roth to keep taxable income near zero. Convert $60,000 to $80,000 per year from traditional IRA to Roth, staying in the 12% tax bracket. Tax bill roughly $7,000 to $10,000 per year. Years 65 to 67, continue conversions but watch IRMAA thresholds carefully now that Medicare is in play. Consider claiming Social Security at 67 to reduce portfolio withdrawals and free up room for conversions. Year 68 to 70, evaluate delaying Social Security to 70 based on health, portfolio performance, and legacy goals. If markets were strong, maybe delay. If markets struggled or health concerns arose, claim earlier. Every January, review the prior year's tax returns, current portfolio values, and projected income. Adjust conversions, withdrawals, and Social Security timing as needed. This is a living strategy that evolves with your life. Chapter 9, the emotional side and stress testing. The shift from saving to spending is psychologically difficult even when the math works. You spent 40 years being told to save and now you're supposed to draw down those accounts. It feels wrong. This is where the bucket strategy becomes emotionally powerful. Tom and Lisa can see $160,000 in cash plus several $100,000 in protected income assets. The market drops 40%, they're not forced to sell. They're drawing from buckets 1 and 2. The growth bucket can crash and they're still fine. That's because they're not touching it for 20 years. Think about someone who retired in 2007 and was fully in the market in 08, 2009, 2010, they were worried about whether they'd have to go back to work. With buckets, that person isn't panicking. They have years of income already set aside. That's how you weather a 2008 style downturn without making emotional decisions. If inflation spikes, Social Security cost of living adjustments help. Stocks historically outpace inflation over time, and they adjust discretionary spending slightly. If they both lived to 95, disciplined conversions and diversified buckets sustain the portfolio. By their 90s, they're drawing primarily from Roth accounts, paying minimal taxes, and still leaving a legacy. The point isn't to guarantee perfection. It's to build a plan resilient enough to handle whatever life throws at you. The best plan is one that lets you sleep at night while funding your lifestyle for decades. Turning $1.6 million into sustainable retirement income isn't about following a cookie-cutter formula. It's about understanding the unique tax treatment of your accounts, strategically managing withdrawals and conversions during that critical window before Social Security and RMDs lock you in, avoiding costly mistakes like IRMAA surcharges, and building a flexible framework that can adapt to whatever markets in life throw at you. If you'd like help creating a customized retirement income strategy for your specific situation, I'd encourage you to visit our website or schedule a call with our team at Modern Capital. We specialize in turning complex retirement portfolios into simple, sustainable income plans designed to last. We're fully virtual, so we can work with you wherever you are. The link is in the description.